Hey and welcome, Miss Kira Speaks. Before we get started, I ask that you watch the videos till the end, subscribe, and turn on your notifications. We are finally back again with another one of my watch lists, you guys. Now, as you know, my watch list typically consists of TV streaming and film, old, new, and in between. Some I've watched before and some I'm currently watching. I will give you my mostly spoiler-free breakdown of 2 or more shows with some additional recommendations. I just want to say welcome to any newcomers. I hope that you'll subscribe, share with a friend, and return for future content. To my subscribers, thank you so much for your continued support. I appreciate you. Now, how was everyone's Christmas and New Year's? For me, Christmas was Christmas. And New Year's was just chill. Just the night home with me and the boys. Just my speed, okay? A little something different for the first watch list of the new year. I usually don't cover things that I didn't care for, but we're going to quickly go over some of the worst and best of 2022. The hard thing at this stage is I didn't want to put anything on the list that I kind of already spoke about. Now, going forward, I don't know if I'm going to be able to keep that up, but for now, let's start off with a few things that I wish I had skipped. First up is Bad Vegan, Fame, Fraud, Fugitives. This one released in March on Netflix. A-list vegan chef Sarma Melanagas falls for a mysterious charmer who sweeps her off her feet, promising to pay her debts. Is he too good to be true? Child, this documentary was 4 episodes. Actually, it wasn't even a documentary, if you ask me. Because I don't know how much research was actually done for this whole thing, but yikes, I guess. We talked to Sarma, who honestly I did not feel sorry for. I started off asking myself if this lady that was supposed to be intelligent was indeed stupid. Excuse my French. I think the man promised to make her dog immortal, which wasn't even the center of this whole thing, and the poor dog didn't ask for none of this. I left the documentary asking if she was indeed in on it and what I had just watched. Next up is Terror Lake Drive, released in June on All Black. Now, this one was 2 seasons, but we're talking about the second season, which came out in 2022. The first season, I believe, came out in 2020, and I watched that one right before I watched the second season because I intended to review it for you guys. But no. In the second installment of the thrilling anthology series, Terror Lake Drive, a traveling nurse takes an assignment in Atlanta and responds to an ad seeking a roommate at the ominous Freeman Lake apartments. The acting was a bit but moreover, the series was all over the place. The definition of doing too much and not doing it well, I might add. We had a pandemic, which wasn't really a pandemic, civil unrest with the police, abduction, and Season 1 was 6 episodes. So when I got to episode 6 on the second season, I was like, really? That's it? But there was 1 more episode. And honestly, I don't know if that made a difference or not. I walked away wanting all of my time back. Now, just to give you a little insight into my good old YouTube life, like I said, right before season 2 came out, I watched season 1. I took notes on it because I was like, I'll do 1 video, like a really quick recap of season 1. And then since it's only 6 7 episodes, I'll do season 2, and it'll be another little quick something I can get out. Child, at the end of taking those notes, because I didn't watch it first and then take the notes, I watched while taking the notes. Mistake. By the time I was done with season 1 and those notes, it was like rip them up and throw them away. I was like, I cannot review this for the people. They're gonna be looking at me like I'm crazy. So consider yourself lucky. Next up is Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, released in theaters in May. Doctor Strange teams up with a mysterious teenage girl from his dreams who can travel across multiverses to battle multiple threats, including other universes' versions of himself, which threaten to wipe out millions across the multiverse. Now, it wasn't awful. In fact, it had promise, but Marvel likes to introduce us to characters just because. Another thing, if I'm being completely honest, it was more of Wanda's movie than Doctor Strange's. Just my opinion. It was one of those movies that was just like, again, like, it's okay. But Marvel movies aren't short, so I need them to do better. Last up is Nanny. Initially released in November, released on Prime Video in December. An African woman hopes that her new job as a nanny will bring her young son to the United States. However, when a violent presence begins to invade both dreams and reality, it threatens to destroy everything she fought for. Now, as you know, your girl is not into horror, and this one was a Blumhouse production. But when I saw Michelle Monaghan, the beautiful Anna Diop, and Sonequa Walls, who you may know as Sean from Power, I figured I'd give it a try. It wasn't awful so much as it was blah and just disappointing. The movie ending was unsatisfying to say the least, and I left asking myself again, what did I just watch? If you want to go ahead and just watch the trailer, honestly, you're not going to get much more than that. Give me 1 minute before I get into a few that I really enjoyed. Okay, y'all, I am back. Sorry for that. I'll probably edit most of that out. But anyway, first up is Dahmer Monster, the Jeffrey Dahmer story, released on Netflix in September. The story of one of the most notorious serial killers in the United States, largely told from the points of views of his victims. And that's why I really enjoyed this series, because it focused on the victims and not the monster. Now, some were upset that the victims didn't get contacted for their input on this series, and I get that, and I would have loved if they had done that, but it was a pretty good story, I can't front. Another issue some took with it is they felt that it humanized Jeffrey or made people feel sorry for Jeffrey, but me, I did not. What drew me in was Niecy Nash as Glenda Cleveland. I was there for her and the many other blacks and gays that this man took advantage of. Now, I know I gave you a few issues with this one, but this one, like I said, it is on my best list. It will make you cry. It will make you angry, but it was well put together and definitely worth the watch. Little sidebar before I go. One of my favorite episodes, but the episode that will totally F up your world, is the episode that was about Tony. I can't remember what episode that was. You can either skip it or only watch that, but that one was definitely really, really heavy. Next up is Bel Air, released on Peacock in February. The journey of a street smart teen whose life is forever transformed when he moves from the streets of West Philadelphia to live with his relatives and one of LA's wealthiest suburbs. Now we are all quite familiar with the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and many, including myself, were quite worried about this reboot. But they handled it beautifully, if you ask me. They kept it current while exploring some of those old storylines for some nostalgia. Characters we were familiar with, but done better. I love dark-skinned Aunt Viv, Hillary, and the handsome Uncle Phil, and Jeffrey. Now, the second season is just around the bend, coming up in February, and I'm hoping for some character development for Jeffrey. I'm also really excited to see where they take Will's character this season. You can watch all the episodes of season 1 now on Peacock, and season 2 airs on February 23rd, and then head on back here and check out my review. Next up is Riches, released on Prime Video in December. Steven Richards has built a cosmetic empire, but when he suffers a stroke, his family secrets and lies rise to the surface, and the future of his multi-million-pound company is at stake. What did I love about it? The melanated cast, for one. Aside from that, we have family drama and lots of it. We got a mystery, and as things start to unfold, we have to figure out exactly who did what. Rated TV 14, this 6-episode series is about 45 minutes each episode, so it's pretty easy to get through. And with the way it ended, I hope we get a season 2, and soon. Now, I do plan to get back to my review, so just be patient and keep your notifications on. Last up is The Best Man, the final chapters, released on Peacock in December. We finished up strong in December, didn't we? As relationships evolve and past grievances resurface in unpredictable stages of midlife crises meets midlife renaissance. Malcolm Lee likes to keep us waiting, but it's always worth it when it comes to The Best Man. Peacock dropped all 8 episodes in one day, and I did not know how to feel about it. But I watched it in 2 days anyway. And then I watched it again, and I'm just starting on my 3rd watch. Child, to me, it was that darn good. Now, the first 2 episodes wrap up the last movie, but then we get so much more from there. It dealt with a plethora of topics, which I like. Plus, you have an all-star cast that 20 years later, they still look good. Plus, that comedic timing and chemistry, I love to see it. Now, they wrapped it up pretty well, but they did have a couple of storylines that were left open, if you ask me. Because I know this is supposed to be the final chapters, but I really love seeing this. So if we can get another season, that would be great. I know I'm being a little greedy, but I'd like to see the story continue. Have you seen it? Get down in the comments and let me know. Now, there were so much more that I can give you for my best and my worst, but I'm trying to figure out my fitting in YouTube, so I was kind of trying to keep this relatively short. My goal is to get more content out this year, fingers crossed, but we need to work on that subscriber count and that retention time. Your girl's gonna have a few things in the work to work on it. Wish me luck. Anywho, get down in the comments and let me know some of your best and worst of 2020, or just let me know that you stopped by. Now, as I mentioned in my last watch list, with the exception of February, watch list will be twice a month. My next watch list will be January new releases, so Stay tuned. In the meantime, if you are looking for more, please check out some of my other watch lists or content. Keep those notifications on, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.